All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to your Thursday night edition of Unscripted, live here on Facebook at Unscripted. We are also live on the All Sports All Plays Network on their Facebook and YouTube channel. Please check them out for some amazing sports content. I'm your host and producer this evening, Logan Landers, and joining me is my co-host tonight, Mr. Jay McLovin. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing well, and I can't believe Dan Culley for the Houston Texans only lasts 1 year. Go Texans. Go Texans.
Not a top.
Continuity and consistency are definitely your wheelhouse.
Yeah. I feel bad for him, Jay. I really do, because I sit in the group chat. He had nothing to work with, and he's expected to make a 12-ounce steak out of it, right?
It was ridiculous, Logan.
I feel like he should have got. He didn't get a fair crack. I'm just saying that, man. He didn't get a fair shake. Maybe he'll bounce back somewhere. We have some early comments. Like I said, if you guys want to come and join the show, we posted the link to this on our Facebook page earlier today. Please go click it, allow your audio, allow your video, come on the show, talk some sports with us. We already got some comments rolling in. NFZ with the 5-star. I love to see it. Thank you, buddy. And also Dustin, a reoccurring poster here saying, I miss you in the mornings, Jay. And Jim Caldwell to Houston. Okay. Interesting there. I don't know if that's official, if that's what he's wanting.
I don't mind Caldwell going there. You know why, Logan?
It's just rumor. It's rumors.
It's what he did in Detroit. And I feel like what he did in Detroit, he can do in Houston.
Yeah, because I mean, he
wasn't bad.
He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad in Detroit. So, and I mean, that's pretty rare to say for a Detroit coach. But like I said, if you enjoy the video tonight, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's get it going with our first topic tonight. Doing some baseball. John Lester, the longtime pitcher, has now retired. You can see on the screen there. 3-time World Series champs, 2007 and 2013 with Boston, and of course 2016 with the Chicago Cubs. A five-time All-Star, finished top three. He has 3 top 5 Cy Young finishes, and his career stats are 200 wins, 117 losses, and a 3.66 ERA. Pretty good career, Jay. All in all, what do you think about him? What did you think of him as a player, and is he a Hall of Famer in your eyes?
Yeah, hey, and let's not forget that he pitched a no-hitter in 2008 as well.
That is true.
Hey, look, the guy's got halfway. If Nolan Ryan, let's put this in clarity. If Nolan Ryan is a strikeout king, and he's in the Hall of Fame, obviously, and he had 5,000 strikeouts, you look at somebody like John Lester, who had basically 2,488, which is basically halfway of what Ryan put up. And in no way is Lester Nolan Ryan. I'm just using Nolan Ryan as the benchmark.
Fair.
That just kind of shows you he got halfway to where he got. So that already puts him in good company. He only had 892 walks. He had a postseason ERA of 3.08, which, by the way, we all know how many championships or World Series he won.
Got 3
as you stated. So he's got an average of 152 innings and a 3.66 career ERA that spanned from or he had a career record of 200 and 117 was his record. So, and he had a whip of 1.28. So I don't, given all those stats, and I mean, that's pretty impressive. Let's be honest. That's pretty impressive. That means that he was an integral part of the World Series. So I don't know how he does not make it into the Hall of Fame when you played that many years for that many organizations, that many, that low of ERA, that many strikeouts. You're obviously doing something special. And, like I said, that is definitely Hall of Fame worthy numbers. And I don't even think it's close for that.
Like Dustin Reese says here, the greatest free agent signing in Cubs history. Because, let's be honest, Jay, if they didn't get him, they might not have won that World Series. He'll be a Hall of Famer based on his postseason alone.
Right. He's also the National League wins leader in 2018, which I believe puts him with the Cubs, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yeah. He had a really good career all in all, right? He struck out a good amount of batters, 2,488 in total. Like I said, finished in Cy Young voting, pretty close a couple of times. Couldn't quite get it, though. And also, Dustin's our recent stat head here. So please correct me if I'm wrong here. But I think, Jay, he started in 11 or 12 game ones throughout his postseason history, which is, I think, the most in MLB history. So that lets you know that he was trusted by every manager he was with to start things off on the right foot. And, great guy, great teammate. Like I said, pitched the no-hitter as well. I don't think he gets in first ballot, right? I think he sticks around for a couple of years. And I think it's going to be a case where we're going to see his case grow year by year, maybe as, some more players come on and some drop off. Because, there's a lot of really good players that don't make the Hall of Fame, and it's a shame. And I hope that's not the case with him. But I think he had a very, like I said, over 200 wins, top 3 Cy Young votes a couple of times. So he was very good. Yeah, okay, so, started 12 game ones, 5 game 7s, and was the pitcher for 9 series clinching games over the duration of his career. So there you go. Just from that stat alone, Jay, that screams to me one of the most clutch postseason pitchers you could ask for. Also 19-5 with the Cubs in 2018 with a low 3 ERA, 9-3 in the postseason with the Cubs. So, like I said, I think he gets in because he did have some solid regular season stats, of course, but I think his postseason resume bumps him up a little bit more because that's what it matters. Yeah, that's what it matters most. Because we see guys have good regular seasons, right? But then they suck in the postseason. For him, he was consistent. It seems like he got better.
In the 07 World Series with Boston, he actually started and won Game 7 with those guys, or the final game with those guys. So it shows you that they put him in the most crucial games. He was pitching for Boston. So, and I agree with you. I don't know if he gets in right at the very.
I think he sticks around for a couple of years.
But I definitely see him getting in. If he doesn't get in, it would be ridiculous. It would be ridiculous. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think he does. I think he does get in.
2.44 career ERA in the postseason, including a 2.23 World Series ERA. That's very solid, especially for a starting pitcher too. I'm with you, Jay. I don't know how many years. I'm not going to guess, but give him a couple of years, and I think, like I said, we'll see. We've seen like Roger Clemens and Barry. All those guys have been on the ballot for years now. And I think that's going to be the case with John. Is throughout each year, his votes are going to go up and up. Because I think you have to get a minimum of 5% to stay on the ballot. I'm sure he'll get that. I think so. If not, I think it'll be a shame because he was a very, very good player for his time. But all right, let's keep things moving on here. We're gonna get to the NFL. Like I said, we talked on Tuesday about all of the coaches getting fired. Now, Jay, easy question here for you. What is the worst head coaching job? We'll start with that first. So what do you think is the worst?
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit in ASAP in the morning, and I kind of wanted to bring it over to Unscripted because I wanted to kind of see what you were thinking as well, Logan.
Okay.
And I really wanted to get yours and Frankie's opinions on it. Obviously, Frankie won't be with us tonight, but I will definitely get yours. In my opinion, I definitely think it's going to be the New York job, and that's only because, like what we said earlier, they're $9 million under the cap, or $9 million in negative cap space. They have zero. Matter of fact, they owe in the cap space. So the cap room is not there.
Right.
In my opinion, if you want to take that Giants job, you got to clean house. Now, they already cleaned out the coach. They cleaned out the general manager. But I think you got to clean out Saquon. I think you got to clean out Galladay. I think you got to clean out Daniel Jones. And I think you just got to go all the way down to scratch.
Just
I really do. And I say Saquon because of the injuries, and he's getting middle-aged. And I say Daniel Jones just because I don't think he's the guy. I don't believe in Daniel Jones. And I think Galladay is an injury guy who's overpaid. So I think you're going to have to clear house and just start back from scratch. And I think with that job, Logan, you're going to have to go in there as a coaching manager. And I'm going to tell you right now, I hope they get the GM first, because if not, you got
to get a GM first. That's the main thing there.
And because you definitely want to make sure whatever you buy-in you're getting from the team, that it's got to be from the top down, and you're going to have to get it in writing. I want it in writing. If I'm coming to this team, I want to know that here's what I think I can do to make this team a winning franchise, and here's my game plan. I'm going to lay it all out for you. And I think that if you don't get the buy-in on that game plan from the GM and the ownership and put it in writing, because you all know if you don't have it in writing, it's like it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think you walk away from that job, and I don't think you take it. And I think that's why it's the worst job, just because of how much you're going to have to go through and how much buy-in you're going to have to get in order to turn that franchise around.
We got Dustin with a pretty excited comment here, Jay. We'll digest this and break it down for a sec. So in order, he has the Vikings, the Broncos, the Bears in that order. Eric Bieniemy should go to the Vikings. Flores should go to Denver. Harbaugh or Todd Bowles go to Chicago. Brian DeBoll goes to the Giants. Byron Leftwich goes to Jacksonville. Doug Peterson or Josh McDaniels go to Miami. Not bad. Not a bad slate there, Jay. What do you think about that? Before I
don't mind it. I think the only question I have is if and I like, by the way, I don't like McDaniels. Period. I hate that guy. I think he's a great coordinator. I think he's perfect for New England. I think he excels with New England. But we saw when he went to Denver the last go around, it didn't quite work out. It didn't quite matriculate. And I believe it was Denver, if I'm not mistaken. I think
so. Yeah, you're right.
And then so he had a bad experience in Denver, and that's when he went back to being a coordinator. I just don't believe in Josh McDaniels as a head coach. I'm not a favor of that. Mm-hmm. Doug Peterson, I don't know, man. He had a lot of trouble out there, and he got a Super Bowl with the Eagles, but then he kind of ran into some issues there with the Eagles. That's what forced him out of the game. Now I get it. He had Tebow in Denver, and Tua's a little bit better than that. And I get that. I just don't think that McDaniels is the guy. I just don't believe in him. I think that I would probably go more with Peterson in Miami than I would Josh McDaniels. I just don't have faith in him. That's just my point.
Yeah.
But I will say this. To Dustin about the whole Brian. I mean, we talked about this at the beginning of the show. Brian Flores, if he goes to Miami, he's going to have to get the buy-in. He's going to have to get the buy-in from Denver because he wants Watson. Everybody knows that Brian Flores wants Watson. Well, if they go for Watson, can he convince Denver to give up the assets that Houston's going to be asking for to get his services? Yeah. But I like Brian Flores. I think Brian Flores is a great coach, and I think wherever Brian Flores goes, as long as him and the GM and ownership are on the same page, I think Brian Flores is going to do great things. Hands down. But the rest of the list I like. I like Caldwell of Houston because what he did in Detroit. I think he took a Detroit franchise, which is normally a losing franchise,
right,
and just turned that franchise all the way around. Right. I mean, as a matter of fact, I think he had 36 winning seasons. I think something like that, or 36. There was like 36 games. I think he had won in Detroit. The whole point is he had Detroit on the map. They weren't necessarily playing our Super Bowl, but he had them on the map. And then he goes to Indianapolis where he gets Peyton Manning, and of course he was in the 2009 Super Bowl. So I like Caldwell. I think Caldwell can do great things there, and I think I think he's can, as long as he can get the buy-in from Houston management, I think he'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying we got some comments here. John Sugg said Kellen Moore going to the Vikings to bring back that high offense like it used to be.
I think that would be a great fit.
Dustin saying Brian DeBoll to the Giants makes sense because of the way he changed Josh Allen. He fixed him, and Daniel Jones is a similar player to Allen. We'll see. And also from Mr. Sugg saying, don't be surprised Byron Leftwich in Tampa Bay will not go to one of those teams. Yeah, I mean, I like I said, Jay, I think that if you get the opportunity to even go and get a head coaching job, you take it at first glance. Because you don't know if it's going to come again, right?
Right.
As for what Dustin said, like I said on previous shows, I don't think Harbaugh's leaving Michigan.
I don't think so either.
Because it just wouldn't make sense for him to build up the program, right? For the fans to finally get behind him. They're a top 4 team in the NCAA, and then he just leaves them in the dust. I don't see him leaving. As for me, the worst head coaching job, like I said, the Giants is probably the worst. I'm going to go a different route just because I'm going with the Houston Texans. They don't have a coach now. They just fired their coach today. Right. And, I mean, they don't have really much talent anywhere, to be honest.
No, they don't.
They don't know if Deshaun Watson's going to play next season. Davis Mills is not going to be your quarterback in the future. And I mean, the team just sucks flat out. They don't have. I'm sure they don't have much money, and they haven't been able to draft good either. So it's just been rough. Dustin saying the Giants are interviewing the assistant GM from Buffalo, which would open the door for him. Very true. He said, would be funny if the Dolphins hired Urban Meyer to bring football. Stop it. Stop.
That is kind of funny. I'll tell you right now. I think my 3 best teams, and I had to put it in order. If I was a guy wanting to interview for a job, these are my 3 best teams. I got Miami number 1 because of where they are currently as a team, plus $74 million in cap, which means I could bring in and make the tweaks I need to make it just that much better. Mm-hmm. So if I'm trying to get that quarterback of the future, if I don't believe in Tua, I could probably go out like I was telling Dustin, we can go out and get Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, package it up, and we got the cap money to spend for it. And or you can go out for Russell Wilson, or you can, if you still want. And I know that I got to go after Watson, but Watson's still living. I mean, there's enough out there that $74 million makes Miami, given where they are with that team right now and the record they put up with Brian Flores, makes that team look super, super attractive. Yeah. Then they got Denver at number 2 because they got $48 million in cap, and they're not too far off. They're one field general away from being a Super Bowl contender, which I think $48 million, you should be able to go out and get Russell Wilson or put a pitch in for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you got plenty of cap space.
Right.
And then the third one would be Minnesota, and the only negative to Minnesota is they're a negative $13 million in cap. So they're actually even worse than where the Giants are. So, but they have a team in place.
Yeah.
So if I'm going there, I know I just got to put my philosophy in and get a culture. I just got to build the culture. I've got all the pieces. I just got to put the culture in place to maximize the most out of that culture. So I know if I'm going there, I don't have any cap to work with, but I don't need the cap because I have everything I need in my running back, my line, my receivers. I got a quarterback. I got a halfway decent defense. I think I got what I need. So I can overlook the cap space and put that at the number 3 spot in terms of best coaching jobs.
Dustin's order for best would be Minnesota, Miami, and Denver. All 3 of those teams have the talent and are so close to making things happen. Minnesota's cap space is a nightmare, but look for Cousins to restructure to open up cap space. That is true because they're paying him a good bit of money.
I get it.
John Sugg said, who would want the Texans job? Lane Kiffin? Where's Lane Kiffin at now, Jay? Where's he?
I thought he was back in college. Is he out there?
Yeah, I think he's at Ole Miss, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe it is Ole Miss. I know he's still coaching out there in college.
I mean, Ole Miss had a good season. I don't know if
Lane Kiffin's not bad, but I wouldn't bring him into the NFL. I would just leave him in college and just let him do his thing there in college.
I looked. His younger brother is hiring. Ole Miss just hired his younger brother, so I don't think he's going to leave as a co-defensive coordinator. Yeah, they go. Ole Miss. Yeah, just all right. For me, like I said, I always like to be different and make things different from Jay. That way we can have some talk here. I'll still keep number 1 Miami just because they were the closest to getting to the playoffs. Honestly, they sucked in the first half. Then the second half they had that big winning streak. Tua's still young. There's a lot to learn, and like I said, they got some money to play with. For 2, I'm gonna go with the Broncos at 2nd because I like their running back core. They drafted good. This past season. We'll see if they can do it again. They just need a quarterback. If they had a good quarterback, if they get one in free agency, I thought that might be a good piece for them competing for a wild card spot. I still don't think they could overtake the Chiefs, but I still think they can at least be a little bit more competitive if they get someone better than Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock. And for my 3rd, like I said, Jay, I got to be different here. I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears only because you have that prodigy of Justin Fields right there. You can trade off the 2 quarterbacks you got. You have a pretty good defense, and you could work with that if you can develop Fields, kind of like Miami in a way. But you have, I think, a good defense too with Khalil Mack and Jackson and all those guys. So I mean, you got something to work with there. It's just that Nagy sucked as a quarterback. That was just plain simple.
and I think the Bears have positive cap space. So financially, if you have a week and go out and get a player or 2. I think you'd be doing just fine.
They don't have the most. I don't know if I don't believe I have in front of me, but I know they have. I think a little bit of room to play with here.
Hey, they're definitely not in the negative. And here's the deal. And you have to think if whoever goes and takes on the job of Chicago, then that means you have to really believe that you can develop and continue the growth of Justin Fields and make him, your star quarterback, right?
Yeah, I mean, you really could. Dustin saying if you want to give college coach a chance, look at Ryan Day at Ohio State or Matt Campbell from
I actually brought up
ISU.
Matt Campbell. I think Matt Campbell would be a good college coach. He's got Big 12 Coach of the Year 3 times now.
Worst, Anthony Price saying the worst is the Texans, the best is the Vikings. John Suggs says, since Judge ruled in favor of basically open sale for the new owner, I could see major changes. Don't be surprised if Joe Judge would get an interview. I hope
not. Oh,
Joe Judge ain't going nowhere near.
Not.
In Denver, they're getting a new owner. It looks like.
Yeah.
If I don't see Joe Judge being a head coach anywhere anytime soon.
Oh, that would be horrible for them.
Yeah. So the Bears are not too much under the cap. They are in a better position. Miami has the most cap, followed by Jacksonville and Denver. So that's the thing with Denver. That's why I like them, because they have some money to go quarterback, or because this one's it's not a strong glass. I don't have a guy I have circled who I think is going to be revolutionary at the moment. That's just how it is this draft. Well, let's keep it moving on, Jay. What young quarterbacks are the next big superstars? I got Mr. Joe Burrow and Trey Lance up there, but who are some guys you enjoy in the league that you think are going to be superstars?
Yeah, I can't put Trey Lance in there because I think the jury is out, because we just haven't seen enough of him
to
be able to formulate. And obviously, I think there's some development and I think experience that he would need to undergo in order for us to say, this guy's going to pan out, right? Same thing with Jordan Love. We can't say about Jordan Love because we just haven't seen enough of Jordan Love. We have good vibes from him, and I think
but he ain't played much.
Right. So you can't really – those guys are so hard to evaluate. The two that I got, honestly, and it's obvious choices, but I'm going to give you the reasons I have. I have Herbert. I think Herbert's going to be a good one. He only has 2 seasons in, but he's almost thrown for 9,400 yards, 69 touchdowns, 25 picks, but he's got a rating of 97, and that's not bad. And his team barely missed the playoffs. So for a guy who just took over the reins and has only been in for 2 years, and he just barely missed out on the playoffs by a field goal, I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. As long as he can stay out of the injury bug, right?
Right, that's the main key.
And the other one's got to be Joe Burrows, man. Come on, his first year was plagued, from that knee injury. But look what he does his second year. He comes out and just blows it out of the water. So in 2 years, now obviously it's going to be less than Herbert because of him missing half the season. But in those 2 years, he's got almost 7,300 yards, 47 touchdowns, 19 picks, and a rating of 100.2. So for a guy to go into a situation and resurrect one of the worst teams in the NFL, and be able to bring him back and be the key cog in that, I mean, that just shows you. I mean, his ceiling is sky high. So I would put. Now, I'm not saying he's Brady, but if you were trying to say who's going to be the next Brady, I would think that Burrow is on track, and I would say that Herbert is on track to probably be the next Rodgers. If you want to, if you're looking for comparison, who you're on track with.
For me, I mean, I think like I said, I like Joe Burrow, I like Justin Herbert. We got Dustin saying Justin Herbert. Don't sleep on Justin Herbert. Also, Jalen Hurts right there. He's shown some promise. I was going to say Mac Jones because he did solid this season, led the Patriots, to a playoff spot. And Justin Fields. See, I think Justin Fields is good, but we haven't seen a whole lot of him. He hasn't played as much as I would like him to. Maybe next year, once they get a competent head coach in there, we'll see how good he really is. Dustin saying, how did LSU ever lose a game with Burrow, Chase, and Jefferson? I
know that's ridiculous.
There's a reason they got a national championship. I'm surprised they didn't get more, but dang. Don't be surprised if Minshew gets an opportunity on a new team next year. Panthers or Seattle if homeboy leaves. Oh, if you're a Panthers or a Seahawks fan, do you really want Gardner Minshew though? I don't know, Jay. Would you want him as your starting quarterback?
Oh, what? If I want a Minshew? Oh, yeah, hell no.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Hell no.
He's good as a backup, I think.
Hey, Minshew looks good as a Marlboro man, but not as good as
a quarterback, yeah.
But I will say this, and let me ask you this. And like I said, I'm not comparing Burrow to Burrow. I'm not saying he's the next Brady, but I got to say this. Given all that Burrow had to overcome with that knee injury to start off his career and to resurrect the team in which he's done it, how does he not look like he could be in the level of Tom Brady down the future if he can stay injury-free? You know what I'm saying? I think the track that he's on could lead him to 15 years from now we could be saying like he could be that guy.
Yeah, he could as long as these guys stay healthy. And we hope they do. I mean, at least a year, 2 years in, they're both looking really good, and we'll see what the guys from this past draft or how they're going to project. So far, not the greatest. Zach Wilson,
I feel like if you
can
put 525 yards on Kansas City,
yeah, you can do it for a lot of teams.
With what the Bengals were, hey, come on, coach,
give them some love. All right, let's keep it moving here, Jay. A surprise the other day: Eric Weddle unretires and joins the Rams for the playoffs. Ain't played in a minute, but the Rams have some issues at cornerback with injuries, COVID, whatnot, and this man wants a ring. What do you think?
I think he was out there grilling one day, and he got the call, and he's like, "Are you serious? I haven't played since 2019. Granted, I was an All-Pro safety for a while, and I did have a pretty decent 2019 season with 108 snaps and 57 tackles." But that was in 2019. I've been on the couch, coach. I've been on the couch, and I make my every now and again workout sessions just for the hell of it. Are you really sure you want me to come back and play? I haven't seen the field, and I don't know. Is my game conditioning going to be where it needs to be to play at the level in which you need me to be? I don't know, man. I'm really kind of – I'm not 100% behind the Weddle thing. Yeah. I mean, he looks good as an All-Pro, but I just don't know if his conditioning, if he's going to really make that difference.
I guess he must have been in decent shape then, man. I guess
they're working out, huh?
I just saw the other day ESPN said they signed him. And I'm like, really?
Right.
I mean, I don't know if he's going to play much of a factor. That'd be great if he got like a pick six or something, right? But I don't know if he's going to be able to be much of a factor. I don't know how many snaps they're going to give him either. Because you got to think he's going to be on, like, not a snap count, but he's not going to play the whole game, you would think. I don't think his conditioning's there at all. There yet. I mean, he ain't playing 2 years.
This man's got to have some age on him.
Yeah.
And he's been out of the league for almost 3 years. That's like an eternity when you look at the conditioning level of everybody else.
Eric Weddle is 37.
And he's been out of the league for 3 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that's just asking a lot. Don't you think that's asking a lot? That's asking a lot.
Especially in the playoffs, too. I mean, that's a lot to ask for. But I guess they trust him. We'll see what he can do.
I'll definitely be watching that matchup closely.
John saying throw $100 on the Steelers this weekend. Played Kansas City pretty good. I don't know.
You know what, John? I'll take that bet. Give me hit me up in the DMs. I'll take that bet because that's $100 I really could use for gas money. So I'll take that bet.
Speaking of the playoffs, Jay, can Tom Brady win the Super Bowl given the injuries he's had on offense this season?
Yeah, I've been wondering about that. So obviously we know that a lot of people are out, right? You got Jason Pierre-Paul, who's questionable on defense, and then you got Ronald Jones is doubtful versus the Eagles with an ankle injury. You got Evans with a hamstring issue, who had limited walkthroughs, and then so basically you're looking at Gronk. You need Gronk to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You need Evans to help pull that end of the stick as well. And let's play. In the last game they played against the Panthers, Evans did have 6 catches for like 86 yards. I think Gronk had like 9 catches for like 130 yards. But and so if those guys can put in performances like that against the Eagles, then maybe they make it another, and maybe they go up against Green Bay. But I gotta be honest with you, I just don't have that warm, cushy feeling about Brady. I know he's a good guy, whatever, and obviously he's got 7 rings. We all know all the accolades of Tom Brady. But even Tom Brady is a mortal human being. Right. And I just think that with the injuries that they have, I don't think that team is going to be able to make it to the Super Bowl. I don't see that happening. Maybe they get past the wild card round, but I think Green Bay is going to have something in store for them when they play. And we all know everything goes through Green Bay.
It's going to be tough, Jay. It is. Because, we all picked them to get to the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season. Because, they were stacked.
Right.
And we see it time and time again, right? Great teams. Like I said, they won the Super Bowl last year. Injuries can really screw a team over. And that's just how it's been with the Bucs in recent weeks, right? Losing Godwin, Antonio Brown doing whatever he did. You need Gronk to step up. The injuries on defense, too. They're going to get a couple of guys back. Fournette, it's looking like it's going to be a tough challenge for them. I do see them getting past the Eagles. I still think they're a little bit better than the Eagles, but I think it's going to be a tough matchup with Green Bay. That's going to be a tough one. You really need Tom Brady to have really solid games. Keep it clean. I'm saying like no turnovers at all. Maybe one if you want to stay in these games. So, I mean, he's done it before. They got a good head coach. They did it last year. We'll see how far it'll take him this year, though.
And I'll tell you real quick before we go on. When they played the Panthers, their run game was non-existent.
Pretty
They had maybe they used like 3 different running guys, and one of them had like 27 yards. The other ones had like 10 or 11. They barely had like 40 or 50 rushing yards against the Panthers. So if you have no run game and you have maybe two guys you can throw the ball to, I mean, it's kind of he's going to be very, very limited. If he makes it past the Eagles, he's going to be very limited against Green Bay. And don't look past the Eagles. I think the Eagles come out and play them pretty tough.
Also, John with another good comment here saying that when they played Washington, their run game wasn't there either. Or sorry, when they played Washington, the game it wasn't there either. So I mean, it's a good point. It's a really good point. We will see where it takes them. But like I said, I think I do have a little bit more. I do have some good confidence that Tom will get past the Eagles. I mean, he's still pissed off about that Super Bowl loss a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, right.
So he's got to get revenge on that. All right, let's do some start, bench, and cut. We do this pretty much every week here. We got Aaron Rodgers, Dan Marino, and Peyton Manning. That's a tough one, Jay. I'll let you
for me, man, it was hard. I think I'm going off Peyton Manning. I got him starting.
Okay.
He's obviously has almost 72,000 yards for a career with a career rating of 91.9. He's got 539 touchdowns and 251 picks and 2 Super Bowls. And let me tell you something about everybody knows about Peyton. His ability to read the defense, make the necessary changes, helped him redefine the quarterback position and bring it into the next century. So that's why I got him being the start. For my bench, I had to go with Aaron Rodgers. Even though Aaron Rodgers went for 55,360, it was what sold me on him was he had 449 touchdowns, 93 picks, which is not a whole lot, and he had a rating of 101 and a 1 Super Bowl. So I mean, he's got the credentials and he's got the things of that nature. And then I look at Marino, who has zero, he has 0 Super Bowls, but yet he's thrown for like almost 61,361, 420 on the touches, 252 on the picks, but he had a rating of 86. So when I look at the rating of 86 and I look at the Super Bowls at 0, that's why I'm cutting Dan Marino, and so that's where I stood on that one.
I mean, this was a tough one. We got a comment here from John saying Peyton Manning could be a blocker with that forehead.
Hey, that's true though, man. Hey, Dan Marino had a pretty good forehead on him.
Yeah, I'm about to say he was the originator there. For me, it's tough, right? Because I mean, these are all Hall of Fame quarterbacks, obviously. But I think we're pretty much in the same boat here. For me, I'm gonna start Peyton Manning. Amazing, like you said, he kind of revolutionized the quarterback position in terms of reading the defense. I mean, he would take 90% of the clock, just changing, audibling, and everything like that, right? I mean, there's a reason that everyone laughs whenever you hear Omaha from a quarterback, and that's just from what Manning did. So I got to start him. I'm going to bench Aaron Rodgers, like you said, might be the MVP this year. Add another one to the trophy case, won a Super Bowl too. And I'm going to cut Mr. Dan Marino, man. Only reason I'm going to give the slight edge to Rodgers, to Rodgers over Marino, is Marino's career completion percentage was 59%, which is pretty low, right? It's not the greatest. I know he won an MVP, Hall of Fame, all that great stuff, right?
Right.
Amazing player. But I think just overall, because Rodgers' completion percentage was 65, Manning's was 65 also, and Marino's was 59. So just that's a couple passes there. That's my main thing there. But I mean, like I said, these are all great quarterbacks. But look at this, we're agreeing on something for the first time in a minute here.
And I do think that Aaron Rodgers, before his career is done, could slide up to start, and then Peyton could slide down the bench if he can, because he's not too far off on the yardage.
Right.
He is. Damn, no, I don't think so.
I'm about to say Peyton threw the ball a lot.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the wrong number. The only thing that could help Rodgers out is if he got another Super Bowl. Because the one thing I like about Rodgers is his low interception. He's only got 93 interceptions.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Which is significantly lower than the 251 that that he has.
Yeah, and Marino had a total of 252.
Right.
Manning had 250. So, I mean, right there, too, the interceptions is a big key. Also, another reason that I would put Rodgers over Marino is out of the three of them, Rodgers is the best scrambler by far. In terms of running the ball, he's the more athletic, we'll say. So that's why I would bench him. But I still like the pure passing ability of Manning a little bit more. Like I said, he could be a little bit errant.
Read,
but
his audibles were just stupid. Right. The way he knew the defense was just stupid. It was
like you said, we'll see. Because I think Aaron's probably late 30s, right? Probably 30, 35, 36. He's probably got a few years left, not many. But you never know, man. He might pass Manning. I know the yardage ain't gonna get there, but if he gets another ring, he could. You never know. Yeah. You never know. But all right, actually, before we go on to our next topic, Jay, we're going to give a quick shout out to ASAP. You guys will be right back. Check out All Sports All Players Network on Facebook, on YouTube, and see all their amazing content. We'll be back in just a short minute.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
All right. Thanks to the All Sports, All Players Network for that dope promo. Check them out. They got a lot of great content going on. Pretty much, it feels like Jay 24/7. So there's always something for you to watch there on the channel. All right. MVP of last year, Nikola Jokic was disrespected by Coach Malone for his MVP. And man, what a talented player this guy's really become, not recently, but in last couple of seasons.
Right. And I'll tell you, when I first, I didn't realize just how much validity Malone had in those statements until I really started digging into it a little bit. Look, Joker is not the sexiest of picks. He's not the Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. He's not that type of guy. It's just not him. But what he is he's got all of the accolades you could think of in terms of what it required to be an MVP, right? Mm-hmm. So he's got his team right now in the 6th seed. He's got a record of 20-19. But what people don't understand is that in the he's got no Jamal Murray, he's got no Michael Porter, and he has no PJ Dozier. So what he's doing with that team and where he's got this team is all on him.
Right.
For the most part, it's all on him. And let's be honest, when he won the MVP, his numbers were 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. And he had a 56.6% shooting. Okay. Mm-hmm. This year, without having those 3 players that I just mentioned, his points are at 25.8, 14.2 rebounds, which is more than last year, and 7 assists. So his point total is only down by 1, and his assists are down by 1. But his rebounds are up by 4. And his field goal percentage is at 56.1, so roughly the same field goal percentage shooting. So his numbers have actually gotten better since his MVP year, and yet he's lost 3 people, and it's a 16 2019 record. Mm-hmm. Now here's the deal: previous 8 games. Here's where it gets interesting. Previous 8 games, his point total is at 26.1, and his rebounds are at 17.3. Now, let's put that in comparison on why he should be MVP. Steph Curry right now is at 26.8 points, 5.5 assists, and 6.1 or 5.5 rebounds and 6.1 assists. LeBron James is at 28.9 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 6.6 assists. So you tell me how Jokic is only maybe 1.5, 2 points off of Bron, but he has more rebounds he has double the rebounds and another assist more, and he has less to work with, and he's got a better record than the Lakers. And you tell me, and look, I'm not going to get to Seth Curry because Seth Curry was with Golden State, but he's got a hell of a team around. It's a team full of stars, but yet he's got the same points, half the rebounds, and 2 less assists than Joker.
Yeah, pretty much.
How the hell? If you look at just what Joker's working with, and you look at his production, how it's better than the other 2 major guys. I didn't put Durant in there, obviously.
Right.
I'm pretty sure you can make the same case for Durant. How is Joker not your MVP is ridiculous.
And I mean, like you said, with the DeRozan going down with an injury for just a little bit of time, or COVID 1 to 2, I think in Curry not shooting the best as of late. I think his stock's gonna rise, Jake, because like you said, his numbers are better than they were last year. He won the MVP last year. The fact that he's got more assists per game than Curry and LeBron, who are both dominant ball handlers, is crazy. Especially because he's a big guy. He's a power forward center, and like Dustin says, he is the most undervalued MVP ever. So there is a big case for him, and
absolutely,
like I said, there needs to be some more love for him. But we'll see. I think his stock is rising though, especially like I said with the injuries.
If he doesn't get it, you can see based on those points. If he doesn't get it, I firmly believe that it's a MVP. It's a
crime.
What's the word? Hey, what's the word I'm looking for, man? Like that. We're the most likable person, right?
Popular.
There you go. It's the most popular award.
Pretty much. We'll see though. Like I said, we're about halfway through the season. There's still some ball left to play, so we'll see what all happens. All right, Jay. Should the NBA and MLB expand to 32 teams? And also, what cities in each sport should get them?
Again, this is another one I took off the morning show from ASAP.
I'm about to say, we got a comment here saying, "Hey, you're taking my topic."
No, hey, and I just gave credit. Calm down. Yes, Dustin, I copy you. What are you gonna do? Take me to court? I've got $5 to my name. Have at it, brother. I'll see you on People's Court. Listen, hey, I did. The first thing in my mouth was, hey, I took this from the morning show, and Dustin Reese, I'm giving him mad credit for that. But I liked it. I liked the topic so much that I wanted to bring it over to us. And look, we're all under the ASAP umbrella, so we're all supporting the same people. Fair. Hey, I wanted to talk about that for a minute because it's interesting. Dustin had brought a point that I didn't realize, but it's true. So I think it was the NBA that has 32 teams, correct?
The
NFL. The NFL has 32 teams. But the NBA doesn't, and neither does baseball. And I did not realize that they were under the 32 team threshold as well. So I thought about that, man. Who in the NBA and who in MLB could use teams? And I thought the two that I think the most would be Seattle, because I love to see the Seattle Supersonics come back in terms of the NBA. And I also like to see Nashville. I think Nashville could use an NBA team. I think that'd be great because I think they have a great market out there in the Music City. In terms of baseball, obviously, I would, and this is gonna be crazy, but who I would like to see is I would like to see Brooklyn bring back a baseball team.
That'd be nice.
The Dodgers are from Brooklyn, and I would like to see. I think Brooklyn is still a good enough market out there in New York that they would draw enough crowd. So I would like to see I'd like to see Brooklyn get a baseball team. And the other baseball team, I don't know where I would go with that, man. I thought about maybe Vegas. I think Vegas. Ooh. Obviously they have a mad populace out there. So if they already got a hockey team, they already got a football team. I don't think they don't have basketball yet. They don't have basketball. They don't have baseball. I think baseball would be a good market there. So I think Brooklyn and Vegas would be good for baseball, and I think Nashville and Seattle would be good for the NBA. And that's where I could see both of those leagues capitalizing.
Dustin saying for the NBA, Seattle and Kansas City. I think Seattle needs a team. They deserve a team. It's been too long. Kansas City's a good choice too. I think that's a little bit different. Also, he says for MLB, Montreal and Nashville should get one. So agree with your Nashville pick there, Jay. For me, I'm gonna go for the MLB. I'll go with two different cities here. I'm gonna go with North Carolina. They don't have a team, like in like a Charlotte or somewhere maybe, because I mean that's a pretty big city, right? They love their sports, and I think that would work out well. And then also for the other city, I would go with Portland in Oregon. I mean, they love the Blazers, and you would know if they had a baseball team, a major team, they would probably be all over them too, right? Even though the team might suck, they support them through thick and thin. So that's how I would do for baseball is Portland, and then I would go with North Carolina. For the NBA, I'm actually going to go – I'm going to flip it, Jay. I'm going to go your pick of Vegas because, I mean, the NBA is probably one of the most betted sports that you always see stuff over and under for games. Who's gonna win the tip-off? So I think that would be big for Vegas. And like I said, Vegas and Seattle would be my two picks for the NBA. So
I think there's no greater love, and I really believe Seattle is begging to get the Supersonics back. And I miss the Supersonics. I really do.
They need a team. They do need a team. But we'll see, though, man. We'll see what they can do. Like I said, I like Memphis or now where Tennessee, really, honestly. That's a good city to go to. So we'll see what they can do. Also, with Dustin saying Montreal, yeah, of course, I would love to see the Expos back too. That'd be pretty cool.
But what would you rather see? Would you rather see the Montreal Expos come back, or like the old Brooklyn Dodgers? Obviously, it'll be a different name, but I feel like was what I'm saying, with history behind it.
I feel like for just pure marketing wise, probably Brooklyn. Because I mean,
you know what I'm saying? I think there's a big potential there
because we all know the Mets and Yankees make a boatload of cash each year.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, I feel like if you add Brooklyn in there, because, I mean, the Nets, they make a ton of money. The Knicks make – I mean, New York's just if you want to make money in sports, that's where you go.
Pretty much.
The MLS will have 29 teams next year and wants 32 by 2027. Vegas, San Diego, and Louisville are options. No, does Louisville have a baseball team, Jay? I don't think.
Well, they got college. They got college baseball team, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't think Louisville has.
I don't think they don't have a soccer team. That's for sure. The MLS going to Louisville could be very interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So they have the like you said, the Louisville Cardinals, but I don't think they have a baseball team. So okay, yeah. I mean, that'd be a good bet too. They're a good city.
Very interesting.
The Louisville Bats. Let's see what I was thinking, because I knew there was a minor league team there. I just couldn't think of who it was. The Bats for AAA.
Justin Reese, is there any damn thing you don't know? Seriously, it's ridiculous. I think you've got a computer built in your head. It's ridiculous.
He just has Siri open, and whenever we say something, it just
it's like from now on, when I go to my phone, I'm not saying "Hey Siri," I'm saying "Hey Justin." I'm gonna say "Hey Justin." Hey, give me the stat.
Right. All right. Oh,
that guy's amazing.
Keep it with baseball, Jay. Keith Hernandez, one of the greatest Mets of all time, finally getting his jersey retired this upcoming season, whenever that season may start. We don't know. What do you think about this?
I remember Keith Hernandez from Friends. Remember when he played on Friends?
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. I love Keith Hernandez. The guy's just awesome. But anyway, hey, this guy's got the stats, man.
Right.
Look, this guy's got an 11-time Golden Glove. 11-time Golden Glove. That's his defensive side. 11-time Golden Glove. He's got damn near a 300 batting average career. His hits are at what? 2182. 100. He's only got 162 home runs. That tells you he's mostly a small ball hitter. A little over 1,000 RBIs, but 5-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champ, 2-time Silver Slugger, NL batting champ in 79. He's got all the accolades you look for. 300 damn near career batting average and 11 Golden Gloves. What more do you want from your first baseman to be in the Hall of Fame?
I don't get it, Jay. It's a shame that he ain't in the Hall of Fame.
I don't get it either. It's ridiculous.
I mean, like you said, a little bit over 2,000 hits, close to 300 average. 11 Gold Gloves. I mean, it feels like to me, Jay. I feel like, I don't know. I mean, this could be another topic for another day. But it feels like the Hall of Fame does not value Gold Gloves much, to be honest.
I don't understand that.
It feels like they don't value him as much as I do, at least.
Like, how do you not value defense? It's not always about the offense. And if you want to go the offensive side, he's got a career of 296. What more do you want?
Just their off the wall or different topic here, saying Louisville City for USL Champions League, which is a feeder for the MLS. So that's another Louisville-based team there. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy that I don't know what took the Mets so long to finally retire his number. I don't know. I mean, I know he's been their commentator. They play guy for a couple of years now. I don't know what took him so long. I'm glad they're finally getting around to it. But like I said, I don't think he's still on the ballot for the Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken. I would doubt it. Right? He hasn't played in a minute, and usually I don't think he would even have a chance, except for the what's it called, the Veterans Committee, I believe, where they get the like super old players from like the 30s and 40s. He might have to go that route, Jay. He might have to. It's a shame. He should have got in.
I don't know how much more a man needs to do. It's not like there's any controversies surrounding him that should keep him out. So Hall of Fame, get off your ass. It's time to bring Keith Hernandez into the Hall of Fame. And I don't even like the freaking Mets, okay? But I recognize a man whose body of work to be recognized.
That's our first topic on Saturday, Jay. We're already doing it. On Saturday, you guys heard it here first, exclusive if you're watching us live. On Saturday, 8 o'clock, our first topic will be top 5 players we'll go MLB. We'll do all the major sports, right? But we'll start off with MLB, who should be in the Hall of Fame. We'll do that on Saturday, so be on the lookout for that. And Jay, don't worry, I'll go ahead and put it in the topics. That way we already know what's going on.
Amen, brother. Good times.
There we go. Love you too. All right, let's keep it moving back to football with the draft coming up pretty soon. Do you want Aiden Hutchinson, Jay, or Kayvon Thibodeau for your number 1 pick?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna give you the reason, the background why I got Aiden Hutchinson as my number 1, and here's the reason. I'm gonna give you the stats on both those guys, and then I'm gonna tell you why. So they both have great off speed. They both have great get off speed. These guys can get off and do things quite well. If you look at Aiden Hutchinson, he's got 14 sacks this year, whereas Kayvon has 7. And the reason why Hutchinson has more than Kayvon, I'm going to tell you why. He creates power with his hands and upper body strength. He uses his hands to shuck around the corner. He's more technical and more refined than Kayvon, and he can get you in multiple different ways. He can swipe. He can do the swipe into the hands, or he can do the swim moves. Here's the deal: this man he never attacks you the same way twice. Mm-hmm. He may get you with the swim move, come back with a knife move. He may have you think that he's going to go left and go right, or go right and go left. I mean, this guy is very, very, very savvy, and he's very refined on how he can get to the quarterback. Whereas Kayvon is just a little bit more typical of how he's going to come at you. Right? He's a lot faster. He's a lot faster than Hutchinson is, no doubt. He creates power with his speed. He uses speed to get around the corner instead of his hands. He lacks refinement. His instincts and awareness are average, and he can't finish off the rushes to get to the quarterback, and that's where the difference is. Right. He cannot finish. Some of the times he cannot finish off of his rushes to get to the quarterback, where Aiden Hutchinson has the motor and the hand skills to get to the quarterback, and that's the difference maker. And that's why I'm taking Aiden Hutchinson. He's more refined. He has better techniques, and whereas Thibodeau relies more on his speed to get there, and sometimes that speed runs out, and he don't have the power to always get to that quarterback, and that's why he only has half of the sacks as Aiden Hutchinson.
Dustin Reese saying Aiden Hutchinson goes number 2 to Detroit. Jacksonville will take the Alabama tackle at number 1 to protect Trevor Lawrence. I mean, that would be smart, right? That would make sense. I mean, It's not sexy picking, your number 1 overall pick on offensive lineman, but, you took Trevor this past season. He didn't do great, right? And that you can put that on a bunch of different reasons. But this upcoming season for him is going to be a big year, because if he sucks, then might start putting that B on the word bust for him, Jay. I'm just saying. But, I mean, that's not a bad idea, but I'm with you too. I like Hutchinson better. I mean, Michigan was a great defense. He was the star, and he just had a great drive to him. Every time I saw clips of him, it seemed like he always wanted to get to the quarterback, get to the running back. And Thibodeau did have flashes of that, but with Hutchinson, I saw it on pretty much every single down, every single snap. And so I would pick him above Thibodeau. But I mean, obviously these are the top 2 rushers here in the upcoming draft. He's got Evan Neal from Bama. That's what I thought. 6'7", 355. Thibodeau goes 3. Yeah,
wow. If Thibodeau makes it to 3, that would.
Yeah, because it would go Jacksonville first, then Detroit, and then who has I'm going to Google Dustin. Who has the number 3 pick this year? I'm curious. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but whoever gets him, I mean, this is probably going to be a top 3. Once the draft gets closer, we'll start doing our draft boards and whatnot. But
what do you think about that? What do you think about Jacksonville going offensive lineman with the first pick?
It's risky. It really is risky, Jay, because, I mean, we see a lot of super talented guys, especially offensive tackles, offensive linemen, in college just not pan out in the NFL. And, I mean, great. I mean, you are going to get a few good ones, right? Also, okay, yeah, he got Houston at 3 who picks Thibodeau. Okay.
Hey, that'd be a good pickup for the Texans.
Houston needs a lot more than one person.
I mean, they do. They really do. They really do need a lot more than just that. I agree.
Yeah, same Bama tackles. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt that Alabama's all over the NFL, but just hypothetically, Jay, it is a little bit risky because we've seen offensive tackles picked early, just not work out. Hopefully that curse doesn't happen to Jacksonville, like Dustin's saying.
Right.
But you never know, right? Football.
So the Jags only got 1 pick in the first round, so they're not picking again until the second round. So if they take offensive first, that means
you got one shot to get it right. We'll see. Yeah. All right, Ben Simmons here on the latest drama with him. Agent Rich Paul met with Sixers about him coming back on the court, or maybe getting some trade rumors, and ain't no one budging. Nothing happened, Jay. It was pretty much useless.
Right, and the thing about that, Logan, is here. This is what I kind of gathered too. So not only are they trying to trade Ben Simmons, but they're also trying to trade Tobias Harris.
Mm-hmm. He's got a big contract.
And here's the deal: Atlanta was actually in serious talks about Ben Simmons with New York or with Philadelphia, but then Philadelphia decided they wanted to throw in Tobias Harris in with the mix and say, hey, if you're taking Simmons, it means you got to take Tobias Harris. And they're trying to work that. And then once they did that, that was it. Atlanta pulled out of the talks. Nothing was said about, and everything went completely dead. So I don't know, man. I get they're trying to, I guess, unload the contract of Tobias Harris. But I got to be honest with you, man. I don't think Simmons and Harris as a package deal is going to work because that's $74 million.
That's a lot of money.
For both guys combined.
That's a
lot of cabbage for not a whole hell of a lot of return.
Nah. I don't get it, Jay. Because just a short recap, right? Ben Simmons sucked in the playoffs. Yeah. He can't shoot, didn't want to shoot, right? We all knew this. He's not going to be going out there scoring 15 threes a night. He hadn't even shot 15 threes in his career. Sucked against Atlanta. His own team, his own coach, basically said, "Is he the future of your team?" They said no. Well, if I'm Ben Simmons, I don't want to play for him either. If you don't trust me, I don't want to play for you. If you don't believe I'm the best player on that team, let alone saying I'm not going to be in your future plans, I don't want to play for you.
Right.
And so then you hear the trade rumors, right? Everyone and their mother wants Ben Simmons, blah, blah, blah. Well, the Sixers, the front office with Daryl Morey, Jay, you know how he works.
Absolutely. I've only known him for Houston for a hot minute.
I feel like he lives in his own world, Jay.
He does.
Because he's wanting, this hasn't been leaked, but he's basically wanting a haul for Ben Simmons, right? He's wanting a team's best player or second best player and like a grand multitude of draft picks, like first rounders for 3 years or whatever, right? And if anyone had a brain, there's a reason he hadn't been traded. No one would do that. And if you throw Tobias Harris in there, it makes it a little bit better, like you said, in terms of just on the court value. But right. Like you said, that's over $70 million in cap space that you would hope the Sixers would take on, or at least half. But that's a lot, though. And
yeah,
I don't even know.
You're better off packaging them individually
right?
than as a coupling.
But you're at a point to where Simmons ain't going to play this season. He said he ain't coming back. We saw him
coming back
at training camp, right? He was just texting on his phone. He didn't want to be there. He was required to be there. He was required to be there. And I mean, you see him now with his fiance, his girlfriend, whoever. They were getting lunch, and on Twitter, someone was saying, like, man, it's like he's out here enjoying life. Meanwhile, Embiid's having to average 30 points a night to keep the Sixers afloat. And that's because the Sixers, Jay, they shot themselves in the foot. There's no way around it, because they could have very easily handled this situation if Doc Rivers, if Joel Embiid, and if really pretty much the whole team, they dogged this guy at a time where he needed to get confidence and be uplifted. Instead, they just punched him even further into the ground. And that's why you haven't seen him this season. That's why you're not going to see him this season. And that's why, and with Daryl Morey's, I don't know if it's stupidity or lack of just self-awareness, they're not going to get a trade for him.
Daryl Morey is the kind of guy that will go out and spend a lot of money, but sometimes it pans out, but a lot of times it doesn't, and that's what gets him into hot water.
Yep.
And I think this is kind of got into hot water right now.
Because Simmons
personally, if you Daryl Morey, I don't like you anyway. The way you dumped Houston and took off for Philadelphia, you can go to hell.
Trade him for John Wall, Jay. There you go.
Hey, I'm down with hell no, but do I want that? Either way, because I'll tell you, Logan, either way, I'm paying a lot of money to a guy that's not going to give me a whole hell of a lot in return.
Ben Simmons is like the blue alien in Space Jam. Hey, also shout out, I'm wearing a Space Jam collab shirt here. So
what is Houston going to do with Ben Simmons? Honestly, they're in rebuild mode. They don't need. You know what I'm saying?
Who would even want Ben Simmons right now? Let's look through the league, right?
Right.
Who would want or who needs Ben Simmons? We'll discuss Tobias Harris later, but I mean, Boston. Right? Boston's tough as a crowd, but we said the other day they need a point guard.
Right.
And you could, hypothetically, you could give up Jaylen Brown or whoever for Ben Simmons. I don't know, but like, there's not a lot of teams that need a point guard, especially a point guard who can't shoot.
Exactly.
Can't shoot free throws either. So that hurts him even worse. If he was going out there and scoring 20 points a night, right? If he was able to actually shoot the ball instead of free throws and layups, then he would have this deal would have been done months ago. Right. But he just can't.
When you tell me how much money I got to shell out to have a Ben Simmons, and I'm not getting
Lakers ain't got the money. Lakers ain't got the money, Dustin. Come on, you know this.
And if they did, that didn't be a worse. That'd be
worse than Westbrook.
Oh God, I can see the Lakers doing something stupid like that. Look what they've done now. I mean, Lakers got themselves a whole world of hurt. And they have nothing, nowhere to go, no picks to give up, no nothing. They're just stuck with that old decrepit team.
So I looked here, Jay, for ideal Ben Simmons trade, and this is on sportsnot.com. I'm just going to read them off here. So first we have Ben Simmons trade to the New York Knicks. I'm going to say no, because the Knicks fans will eat him alive the first second he does something bad.
Oh, hell yeah, they will.
There ain't no way. I don't see that. So he don't turn it over like Russ. Simmons can play 1 through 5 and makes it better. He does. Yeah, I mean, that is true.
I'll give you that, Dustin. Defensively, great.
But they don't need another guy who can handle the ball like, LeBron James. And he ain't a decoy for nobody. So they got the money to it either, so that's not even going to work. Yeah, but I don't see him going to the Knicks. So I'm just going to go and skip past that one. To the Sacramento Kings, so basically just go to irrelevancy for the rest of your career. That could work. So the Kings would get Ben Simmons and Matthias Thybulle, right? And the Sixers would get De'Aaron Fox and Marvin Bagley. I mean, that wouldn't be awful. Let's just be honest here, right? Because those two ain't doing nothing in Sacramento. Give them to the Sixers. And then, the Kings ain't done nothing since I was in elementary school. So, I mean, that's just how the world works. They ain't doing nothing this year either. So why not get Bagley and Fox out, the probably two top talented guys on that roster out of there. Tell you
how bad Sacramento is, because they're willing to give their two best guys for Ben Simmons.
Yeah. Let's see. I was talking about a couple weeks ago to the Blazers. Trailblazers get Ben Simmons. The Sixers get McCollum, Anthony Simmons, and 2 first-round picks. I mean, I've been saying the Blazers need to start rebuilding. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if
I agree with
Simmons
you.
would
Ben
be
Simmons
a
where you
good
want to
start.
start?
I mean, giving up those 2 first-round picks would hurt, though.
Because if I'm the Blazers, I'm not trying to give up picks. I'm trying to cultivate those bastards. And
then I see here, Jay, the Lakers, of course. The Lakers get Ben Simmons and Danny Green. Oh, God, they don't want Danny Green. For Russell Westbrook, Austin Reeves, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. They would the Lakers wouldn't have a draft pick until 2035 if they did that.
If the Lakers made that move, that would just be horrific. But you know what? I hope they do make that move because then I can rub that in Freddie's face. Look what your team did now, Freddie, because you ain't going nowhere with this craziness.
I kind of like the out of all those ones I read, I like the Kings.
The picks. Give us the picks is horrible.
Yeah, the Kings one was probably the most decent looking one I could see, right? Because the Kings ain't doing nothing. I'm sure they've got some money to spend. I would guess no one wants to go there. Why not trade Ben Simmons into the eternal pits of hell, and you get De'Aaron Fox, who's a really good point guard, and I've got Bagley, who can be a backup, right? So right. I mean, that would be awful for me. I would do it.
Do the Lakers ever really draft people and hang on to them and cultivate and develop them? Because it seems like most of the players that they get are usually via trade.
He's saying add Halliburton to the list in the Sixers. Are you talking about for the Kings stuff? I just want to clarify this. Because I feel like that's also the best idea that I've seen floating around. Also, I didn't see any draft, at least on the website I found, I didn't have any draft picks attached to them either. So that would work too. And speaking of draft picks, Jay, I want to see the Lakers. What are their draft picks coming up, right? Who do they have? I mean, they only had, oh, God, Jay, they've only had, oh, that's horrible. In the last 3 seasons, Jay, guess how many draft picks they've had?
It can't be many. Maybe a couple. 3 or 4, maybe 3 or 4.
In the last 3 seasons, they've had 3 draft picks. One of them was DeAndre Hunter, who they traded to the Hawks. The other one was Jaden McDaniels, who was traded to Oklahoma. I think it looks like it's kind of hard to read here. It looks like they traded that pick to Oklahoma City, who then traded them to Minnesota. And then this past season was Isaiah Jackson, who they traded to Indianapolis. So they don't build their team around the draft. They build their team around free agents. It's been 4 years since they've drafted someone, and I'm going to say kept them. And let me, because I'm very curious, because I know they've traded away a ton of guys, and I know there's no one on that team now that's been on the team for LeBron's the longest tenured player,
right?
But in just in terms of drafting wise, I mean they've kind of sucked in recent years. I mean, 18 they drafted Moritz Wagner. And I don't even want to pronounce Makayak. I don't even know how to say his first name. They ain't doing nothing, right?
Right.
They're just kind of bouncing around the league. They're averaging less than 10 points a game in their career, so they ain't done nothing. Lonzo, who's finally looking like he's decent in 2017. Tony Bradley.
They did draft Lonzo Ball. You're right. They did draft Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, so that, I mean, that was in 2017.
They got rid of him.
Yep, that was over 5 years ago. 2016, they got Brandon Ingram, who's doing pretty solid for himself.
Yeah, I think they did draft Julius Randle, didn't they?
Yep, that was in 2014. He's doing
good. Of course, those guys are gone too.
But I mean, even before that, they didn't really draft anyone decent. I mean, they really sucked at draft. They really suck at drafting. They really do. Because I mean, the Lakers are a historic franchise, but they suck at drafting. They really do. They really suck at drafting. If they get a good player, they trade them away.
Braun had to do with the whole ball situation.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I mean, I was actually excited, Jay, because if LeBron hadn't gotten hurt in that I think it was his first season,
yeah,
because that was when they had Lonzo and I think even Randall and Ingram at that time. That could have been a dominant team. It really could have been, but
hey, give it how well Randall's playing right now, and as well as Ingram out in New Orleans. Yeah,
it's crazy because all 3 of those guys, Ingram, Randall, and Lonzo, they're all doing great by themselves. So
once they left LA, their careers have really taken off.
It really has. It's crazy to see, but that's just how the league works sometimes. And then you could say for the Lakers, well, you got a ring out of it. Yeah, you did, but your future is. absolutely screwed. Justin saying, just think if the Lakers don't trade for Russell, they could have DeMar DeRozan, Caruso, and Buddy Hield and stuff. Yeah, that Westbrook.
Hey,
I feel like we're gonna look.
Justin, let's just be glad that the Lakers aren't that smart.
Yeah. I feel like we're gonna look back at Jay at that Westbrook contract because he's not around for. I think he's free agent coming up pretty soon. I would think.
Oh yeah,
I think after the season. Honestly, I think. Let me double check. But I mean, I would have way rather, and I'm sure Frankie can agree that if you would have gotten Buddy Hield, right? If you would have gotten DeMar DeRozan, kept Caruso also, all three of those guys. I mean, two of them are doing great for the Bulls, and Buddy Hield is in where is he at? Sacramento, New Orleans, one of the two.
Buddy Hield, I think he's in Sacramento.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I would have loved it. That would have been great because the Lakers still don't got no one that can shoot.
You know what we're missing out on though is Kyle Kuzma. Look at how well Kyle Kuzma's playing. He's averaging like 24, 25 points a game.
And I think the only reason they let go of him and Harrell is because he wasn't consistent, Jay. He wasn't. Russell gets that's disgusting.
That's insane.
44 million this year and 47 next year.
So you can't sit him because they're paying him too damn much.
And you're paying him even more next year. What do you do, Jay? Do you cut? You can't cut him. They ain't got the money to pay for that. Do you just package him? I mean, who? Just realistically, who would they even package with Russell to get him out of there? I mean, honestly, you heard Austin Reeves, but I mean, he's only been around for this first year.
You really don't have anything of value that you can package with Russell to make it look that much more attractive. You don't have the assets that are maybe Torrin Tucker, whatever
yeah.
Name is.
TAT, that's probably the best you have.
Horton Tucker, you might be able to package him, and that's really about all you got.
Yeah. Let me see here. So it looks like this year, Jay, they don't even have a pick. Yeah. They gave up those picks, didn't they? When they brought in Westbrook? They gave it up for Davis.
Or Davis. I'm sorry, Davis.
Yep. And then they don't even have a second round pick either, I don't believe.
Let me ask you a question. Davis comes back healthy, right? Davis comes back, and let's suppose that he's fully healthy. Lakers playoffs or not? Play in, play out, playoffs. Ooh. What do you got?
I'll get to that in just a sec, Jay, but Dustin brought up a good point here. DeRozan, Caruso, and Hield combined will make $35 million, which is almost less than Westbrook, and that's three way better players right now. That's crazy.
That's $10 million less than what or $9 million less than what they're paying Westbrook.
Yeah. I don't know, Jay, because they need more help than just Anthony Davis. I mean, Anthony Davis ain't been great this year, right? He's been kind of off.
I got the Lakers that play in, to be honest with you. I think they go to the
I got the Lakers 8-10 somewhere slotted in there. I feel like this team's going to make a bunch of moves at the trade deadline. I think. Let me just check out their roster real quick, and I can tell you exactly who's about to be gone from that team in about 2 weeks or so, right? Because we already saw the first trade today with Cam Reddish going to the Knicks. Basically, just to kind of open up spots for the Hawks. They're kind of trying to figure out what all they're going to do. But for the Lakers roster at the moment, all right. So, Jay, I'm just going to run down some names. You tell me if they're worth trading or not. Right? You ready? All right. We got Carmelo Anthony. I don't think he'll get traded.
No, I think Melo stays.
Lakers are a playing team right now, but they hope to be top 6 if Davis comes back healthy. Only thing is they can't play deep. They got to be one of the top, one of the worst defensive teams in the league, if not the worst, honestly. So yeah, Carmelo stays. Trevor Ariza has actually been pretty decent, so I think he stays. Unless you, he's the one the team plays any defense, Jay. He really is.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could stay, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was.
If you get something good for him. Kent Bazemore, I don't remember last time he played, so he's gone, I think.
I put Bazemore on the block.
Avery Bradley.
On the block because he had a horrible game. He went like, God, what did he go? He shot below 50% yesterday.
But he don't play defense, though. I mean, sorry, he does.
I put Avery on there for sure.
Yeah, Avery and Ariza, they're the only two guys that play defense on the team. Yeah, they're 27th in defensive efficiency, 112 points a game. That ain't good enough. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you could put Ariza and Bradley out there for trade bait, but unless you get some good defenders behind them, I mean, there ain't no point. Anthony Davis, obviously not. Sequoia Dumboye, don't know who that is. Probably ain't going to be there for much longer. Wayne Ellington, you can get rid of him. Horton Tucker, I would throw him out there. Just see what I can get for him. Dwight Howard, I don't think anyone wants him.
No, I don't think so.
Let's see. Stanley Johnson, they just signed, so he's not going anywhere. But bless you, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
We have Mason Jones. I have no clue who that is. He's probably going to get cut. DeAndre Jordan, who
oh, yeah, you can go and put DeAndre out there. You know you can put DeAndre out there. Damn.
Like I told you, I would trade DeAndre Jordan for a big soft pretzel with some queso. That's
what my God, you can put DeAndre out there. You know, and that's the thing about this Lakers team. I don't see anything on this Lakers team that just screams to me, we're gonna do anything. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's people out there like Freddie who are just waiting for this whatever resurgence, whatever resurrection, and you can do it all you want. But guess what? We're past the Christmas break. We're halfway almost through January, getting ready to go into Feb. And yet you're still only, maybe 500 at best?
They're under 500.
Under 500?
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Ain't looking too good, right?
No, not looking good at all.
But let me keep going here. We have Malik Monk, he's been good.
I might keep Malik Monk.
I would hope to keep him, but if not, like they got so many issues though. I don't know.
Oh man, they have
Austin Reeves, who we talked about, he could be trade bait, even though they just guaranteed his contract though, so I don't think they would trade him. Kendrick Nunn, maybe. He's still young. He's 26. And then Westbrook, who I don't think anyone would want right now. So
you know what's great about the Lakers, what I appreciate about the Lakers, honestly, is they made me appreciate how well Houston is doing in their rebuild.
Yeah.
Because we got a hell of a bright future. And I look at a team like the Lakers who have nothing to work with except for what they have currently existing to themselves, and it just looks like crap.
Yeah, Jay, I'm going to throw a picture up there real quick. That's why I'm moving this. And I think that if what Dustin said, right, is throw Davis and LeBron out there while they were at it and blew everything up, start over. You know what, Dustin? This one's just for you. This is what we're going to see here if the Lakers decide to blow everything up, right, get rid of everyone and start fresh. We're going to see a resurgence of this dominant team of Jordan Clarkson, Wayne Ellington, right? He's already on the team. Ryan Kelly, Tariq Black, and Robert Sacre. The year when Kobe was hurt, if I'm not mistaken, back in 2013. We're going to see this resurgence, Jay. We're going to see it. We're gonna see it coming back.
And it's true though. I mean, they're heading and they've given up so much of the future for this old decrepit lineup surrounded by LeBron because he's LeBron.
I feel like the Lakers have just thought in the present, right? No, that's great, right? You got a championship, that's cool. That's good, right? That's fine, but you have nothing for the future. Nothing at all. The only way you can really go and if you want a good future is you've got to trade one of the big guys. You've got to trade Westbrook, who no one really wants, I don't think. You've got to trade Davis or you got to trade LeBron because you can get some draft picks. You don't have any. You can get some players. You need some better ones. So if push comes to shove, Jay, I don't think it's going to happen this year, right? I think they're going to ride it out for the remainder of the year. Next year, though, I mean, let me look at Anthony Davis's contract because he's not guaranteed to stay a Laker. I know it kind of feels that way. You know what I mean? But, I mean, yeah, he just signed the Supermax, too. I forget. So he's going to be with the Lakers
I want to throw something
24-25.
Jim Cross with ASAP had brought up a point. And the point that he brought up was, and it was, I guess it was in reference to Freddie saying that it was all Russ Westbrook's fault for this whole Laker debacle.
Westbrook's a big part of it, but it ain't solely on him.
But here's the deal. Now think about it. You got a guy who's making $44 million this year,
47 next year,
and 47 next year. Keep that in the premise in the back of your mind while I make this point.
Okay.
So, to Jim's point, he said, "Hey, Freddie, you complained about him making all these turnovers, but he was scoring points." And then you said you want him to play more. You want him to limit the turnovers. So he limits the turnovers, but then he has all these missed shots, which is 2 for 10 for 8 points is what he's talking about. So he's like, well, what do you want, Fred? Do you want to play in the system or do you want him to be himself? Either way, you're screwed because if he is himself, then you got the turnover issue. And if he's not himself, then you get the points, which is not very many.
Right.
And my point is this, Jim Cross. For $44 freaking million, it's not all Russ's fault. Granted, it is not. It is not all Russ's fault. But what is the fault? What is his fault? Why can't we get somewhere in the middle?
Right.
Why can't I get some points and no turnovers?
How come we can't get a solid 15 points, 10 assists, and 2 turnovers? Right. That's a solid stat line.
What I'm saying is, for $44 freaking million, the product you're giving us is subpar. Whether it's in the system or not in the system, it's always subpar. Russell Westbrook should be able to figure it out as a professional athlete, how to keep the turnovers down and still score some damn points and help your team out. It's not all his fault, but he's also not part of the solution either.
And that's the thing, Jay. It's not like Westbrook's a young prodigy. He's been in the league since 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
He's been in the league he's a veteran. He's in his 30s. He's won MVPs, right? He's made it to the finals. He's been around basketball long enough to know when should I take this shot, when should I not, when do I know if it's a good pass, when do I know if I shouldn't pass it. I mean, he is, give him credit, right? Former MVP, probably the most athletic guy in the NBA. But there's so many negative connotations, and you've seen it. He was in Houston for a little bit. I mean, Oklahoma City fans saw it. The Wizards saw it. I think now more so than ever in his career, and I think in OKC it got a little. It wasn't as bad because he was young, but now more so than ever, we're seeing that Russell Westbrook is in the biggest spotlight of his career in Los Angeles with the Lakers, next to LeBron James, in the chance for him to win a ring 10 plus years in, and all of his negative play, right? I don't know how he's able to shoot the ball and hit the top and the bottom of the backboard at the same time, but he can do it. All of his awful turnovers, his bad shooting nights. He has made a 3 in 2022.
Exactly.
And
that's my point. And we went to play Sacramento the other night. He went 0 for 5. Right. Hey, I got a solution to the problem. Russell Westbrook. Hey, watch this. Russell Westbrook, stop with the 3 ball. It's not your forte.
Learn from Ben Simmons.
Just limit yourself to being a slasher to the bucket and distribute the ball. That's all you got to do. Distribute or slash and limit your turnovers, and we're good.
I don't get it, Jay, because, I mean, the guy can't shoot. He's never been able to shoot threes. I'm looking at his stats right now, and his career, oh, gee, that's horrible. So for this season alone, right, his 3-point percentage is, oh, that's awful, 28.
Yeah.
28. That's got to be bottom of the league. I don't care who else.
So 72% of the time, you're screwing us over. Or them. I should say us because I'm not a Lakers fan. I should say them. So 72% of the time, you're screwing the Lakers over when you decide to go for a 3 ball.
In his career, Jay, he's only a 30% free throw shooter. So 3 out of 10 times you're going to miss. In baseball, you're a legend for that. In basketball, not so much. His best shooting year from the 3 ball was, it looks like, in 2016-17, and that was only 34%. That's not that good. So yeah, obviously he's having the worst shooting performance of his career. Beside his rookie season, Jay, where he shot 27%. So
seeing Russell Westbrook shoot a 3 ball,
he's been in the league for 11 years.
Hey, seeing Russell Westbrook
for
shoot the 3 ball.
Whatever.
Seeing Russell Westbrook shoot the 3 ball is like me watching Charles Barkley shoot the 3 ball.
It don't work.
All you can say is no, for the love of God. Pass it. Don't do it. Pass it.
I don't get it, Jay. They need some help. And I would say, I mean, do you think, Jay, I mean, since we brought up Sacramento, do you think Sacramento would do that trade for Fox?
I think they might. I think they might actually pull the trigger on it.
Sacramento got nothing to lose, right? They've been laughing stock since I've been alive.
Yeah, they haven't been competitive since Divac was there.
Yeah, I mean,
Jay Williams.
Like I said, Jay, last time they made the playoffs, I think, was 2007?
Which was when Divac and them were there.
Yeah, that was like probably the end of his career.
Body Divac, I'll never forget it. I actually rooted for those guys when they were playing the Lakers, and they just couldn't quite deal with it.
Ain't nothing to root for now. My God, they've sucked forever.
They haven't been the same since.
But I would take that in a heartbeat, Jay. De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, right? Get both of them for Russell Westbrook and whoever else you can throw in there. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Sacramento got nothing to lose. The Lakers got a lot to lose. So I would pull that trigger instantly. Also, Justin says he has the stat of the day, Jay. Dustin, please drop it, and we'll throw it up here. That'll be how we end our show tonight. But
I think Russell Westbrook could possibly be successful somewhere. It's just not with the Lakers team. And I don't know where he would be. I don't know what system he would be. He's got to stop shooting the three. The three ball really hurts him. Shot selection really hurts Russell Westbrook. I think if he had the right shot selection, you know what I'm saying, and realized that he was a distributor and let the other team, I think he could be better. But damn, he just has terrible shot selection.
Yeah, so let me 3-point percentage, 3-point attempts. So he's attempted 146 threes this year, and he's made 42 of them. In comparison, right, just from previous seasons, thank God, Jay, this isn't the 2016-17 season, because that was when he shot the ball 200 of 583 for only 34%, which is better. But so he isn't shooting threes as much, right, halfway through the season. Thank God, but it ain't good. He's not shooting as much.
Out there, though. I wish there was a stat out there that showed every time Russell Westbrook shot a three and the defense recovered the rebound. Mm-hmm. I would like to know, what that percentage looks like, because let's be honest, that's a turnover. Even though it's not really, I guess, looked at the turnover category, you're still turning the ball over. You're putting up a terrible shot, it misses. You know it's going to miss most of the time, at least 72% of the time. So 72% of the time, you're giving that turnover. You're committing even more turnovers.
Well, the Lakers also suck at offensive rebounding too, so there's another thing for you. Okay, but here it is. Kirk Cousins leads the NFL in what stat? Jay, go ahead. What guess you get?
Oh God, he does this every time. He gives us great. And what stat does Kirk Cousins lead the NFL in? I don't think it's turnovers. I don't think it's passing yardage. Shoot, man. I'm gonna go passing yard. Is it passing yardage?
Jay, is it passing yards?
I mean, he does have Justin Jefferson and Thielen.
Right.
Hey, he don't have it in rushing yards, that's for sure. Or could it be completion percentage? No, I'm not going to go rushing yards. I'm going to go completion. I'm going to go completion percent. I don't think it's NFL. I don't think it's interceptions. So I'm going to go completion percentage.
Most consecutive games with a touchdown pass at 30 straight games. Next closest is 22. I know way Jay's going to guess that. I know way you were going to guess that. Jay was going for traditional stats here.
Man, most consecutive games with a touchdown. Well, he does have he doesn't have – that's the thing. He doesn't have Thielen right now to work with. He only has really Jefferson or out of the backfield, maybe a tight end. So, congratulations, Kirk Cousins. And you know what? That should be overlooked. That's a good stat. That's why another reason why I think Minnesota with the right coach could be could be a Super Bowl contender at some point.
They got to get a GM first, though. That's the biggest priority. You can't hire a coach without getting a GM first.
Well, that's true. Hey, that's true.
But all right, well, that is all that we have for the show here tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We go live Tuesdays, Thursdays, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Saturdays at 8. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We go live on our Facebook page at Unscripted. We go live on the All Sports All Plays Network on Facebook and on YouTube. Check out all their amazing, great content. Check out Jay on all their other channels, all their shows as well. It's always a fun time over here. For my co-host, Jay McLovin, I've been your host, Logan Landers. Guys, have a great night, and we will see you on Saturday.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a plays. We're talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.